So when I walk up to the door, essentially I've created myself an identity of what I do. And if you want to be successful in this industry, you want to buy into this identity. Because all of the scripts that we use, the presentation that we use, all comes back to who we are. Okay, and so who I am is, my name is Ricky Ballard. I'm licensed with the state of Utah, and I'm a senior benefit specialist here in whatever county we're in. I don't know, whatever that is. You can say here in Salt Lake or here in Provo. In Texas, counties are important. Everybody identifies where you're at.
In Utah, we would say, I think, just we're from the Utah. We're licensed by the state.
State of Utah, okay.
Yeah.
In Texas, its counties are important. So, like, if I'm in Wood County, I'm licensed with the state of Texas, and I'm a senior benefit specialist here in Wood County. And county's important to them. They want to know that it makes you feel local, right, to them. And so, that's become who I am. If you call my voicemail has changed now because of my job has changed. But whenever I was in the field, when they would call me, it didn't say Ricky Ballard's insurance company. It didn't say anything like that. They said, "Hi, you've reached Ricky Ballard. I'm a senior benefit specialist licensed with the state of Texas. Leave me a message after the tone." It became my identity. Everything that I did was based off of being that senior benefit specialist. So when I walk up to the door, the first thing that I'm going to do is introduce myself as who I am. And so I'm going to call her out by name. Hey, Miss Sandra. My name is Ricky Ballard. I'm a senior benefit specialist licensed with the state of Texas. And I'm a senior benefit specialist here in Wood County. And I'm following up on this card that you had filled out on Facebook, requesting some information about some state regulated benefits that you and your family qualify for. She's going to say, she kind of look at you a little bit. You had put on there what your hobby was, and you said that your hobby was reading. You like reading books. Oh, my wife's actually a literature teacher. She teaches literature to 7th and 8th grade, so I know all about books. What's the book you've been reading lately? So right away, I'm able to build some rapport with her there on her hobby. Okay, so little conversation, whatever, with her there, and say, well, it takes me about 10 minutes to share with you some of this state regulated program. And so would you like me to do it at the kitchen table or at your couches? Would you like me to take my shoes off? What's the best way to do this? What am I trying to do?
Get in there.
Just get in the door. So I get in the door with her and sit down. She's filled out the lead. I have her hobby. My job is to overcome the objections that are going to come with good rebuttals to get knee to knee with her so I can give the presentation. Okay? And so that's what we use the lead for. That's what we're trying to get into in the home with. Does that make sense? Now that's a script that takes practice. And you'll just get used to who that is. But if you can figure out, your manager or your upline should ask you that often. Who are you? And you should be able to tell them, I'm a senior benefit specialist licensed with the state of Utah. And I've came out to share with you these state regulated programs that your family qualifies for. It's who you are. That way you just know who you are, right? It's the first part of it. And we use the lead, so the lead ties into that. So the way the language is written on the leads is all about state regulated programs. Is any of that false? Absolutely not. You're licensed with the state of Texas, and you're out to share with them senior benefits that they qualify that are state regulated. Every insurance policy in the country is regulated by the state. Okay, and their benefits. So that's what we use the lead for. That's what one looks like, and that's how we're going to get in. Once we get inside the house, we are going to essentially visit with them about a few things. When I sit down, you've been trained this in sales, I'm sure, all your life. The first thing they're going to tell you to do is build rapport, right? Build rapport. And so they've already let us in their house. So they're already kind of trusting us a little bit. You've already kind of established some authority. And so now you're either going to have to talk about the grandkids' pictures on the wall or the cat or something, or you can maintain integrity with your authority and your credibility by staying that state representative and that you're very busy. And that's the card that I play. I imagine, Lance, you probably spend some time building a rapport. Mm-hmm. That's your personality. I wanted to go fast and efficient, and so me talking to them about their cats and stuff wasn't something that I wanted to do. Didn't fit my personality because I'm a gas pedal dude all the time. And so I would just say, Miss Sandra, thank you for having me in your home. And we're sitting at the kitchen table now, we're knee to knee. Miss Sandra, thank you so much. We're both very busy, and I appreciate you taking that time to allow me to sit down and give you this presentation. It's very simple. The first thing I've got to figure out is that you are who you say you are. And she's going to say, well, I'm who I am. And they usually laugh about that. I don't know why. Well, who else would I be? You know, kind of deal, right? And you say, well, what is your first name? How do I spell it? Sandra Winthrop. Awesome. What is your date of birth? Boom. So what am I doing? Just validating who she is and getting the information, confirming what's on the lead, making sure that it's right. Okay? And then I'm going to tell her, we've got the first part done. You know who I am. I know who you are. Now let's get to the second part of it. Second part is, who do you currently have your Medicare supplement with? So we're in this part of the presentation. Who do you currently have your Medicare supplement with? And they'll talk to you about your Medicare. Now this is kind of a little bit of the secret sauce. They'll talk to you about Medicare because every senior that's over the age of 65 is put on Medicare, and they pull money from their Social Security to pay for that, and they don't have a choice. And so that $183 or whatever it is in this state is what they have. It's mandated by federal government and it has to be spent for that co-insurance. So they'll talk to you about it because there's no threat to their checkbook. And so you could talk to them about what's being moved, what's being done. They're willing to visit with you about that supplement. They're willing to visit with you about Medicare. That's a big thing for me because now what am I also talking to them about? I'm talking to them about state regulated benefits. So I'm maintaining that credibility without having to get off the tracks to talk to them about their cats. So I'm staying in my lane. And I feel like that's why I'm going that direction. And I'm using Medicare as a tool. Medicare is a tool for me to get a risk assessment. I'm really not trying to sell them anything on the Medicare side. I'm just wanting to evaluate their Medicare, and I'm using it to get a risk assessment. And so important language that you'll use is Medicare supplement. There's lots of things that go on. You can say, who do you have your Medicare with? You can say, who do you have your Medicare supplement with? Things you do not say. So these are big do nots. Do not say anything about Advantage plans. Who do you have your Advantage plan? Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Because then puts you in violation because you don't have a scope signed. So you're just because you don't have one piece of paper signed, if you end up being in a situation you don't want to put your license at risk. So that's just a regulatory thing that you can talk about the supplement, you can talk about health insurance, you can talk about Medicare, but you can't talk about Medicare Advantage without having a certain piece of paper signed. So just make sure you don't do that. So we're going to talk to them, and they're going to come out, and she'll tell you, I promise you guys, she's going to say, if she's 65 years old or older, she's going to tell you she's going to tell you right away. I have my Medicare supplement is with Humana, okay? And you're just going to write this stuff down. You're going to say, are you happy with Humana? She's going to say, I am happy with Humana. Awesome. Does Humana pay for your current medications? And she's going to say, yeah, it does. I've got a little copay. I pay $5 at CVS to get it, but they pay for it. Okay, so what are the medications that it pays for? Are there any that it doesn't pay for? Oh, it pays for all of them. Okay, let's list them. What are they? And we start listing their medications. Medications and the elements that they have are what steer us on what company we want to place them with in life insurance. So what are we using Medicare for? To gather as much information as we can to be able to do our job effectively on the life insurance side. Does that make sense? And so we're going to use that. And she's going to tell you, this medication, this medication, this medication, this medication, this medication. She's going to list them for you. You're going to say, okay. Then you're just going to pause for a minute, and you're going to say, Miss Sandra, are you happy with your current coverage at Humana? She's going to say either yes or no, right? She's going to say, yes, I am. And then you just reach out, touch her, say, Sandra, you've done a very good job on this side of the presentation, protecting your family the best that you know how. And I appreciate you sharing all this information with me, but good job. You've done a good job protecting your family. What did I do right there? I just complimented the heck out of her, didn't I? I just made her feel very good about what she's done. I've just taken down every barrier that she's put up about a salesman coming into her house trying to do something to her. What did she just think in her mind? This guy ain't trying to sell me anything. He's not. This guy's really just gave me an honest evaluation on what I'm doing. The reality is, if she's not diabetic, can't move her anyway. So she has done the best thing by her family. She has done the best thing that she can do. And if you don't have a health license, she's done the best thing that you can help her with. If she says no, I'm not happy with Humana, and you can't do anything with her, you just tell her, look, back at the office, we have a Medicare specialist that I'll have get in contact with you, and we'll make sure that we find the right program for you. I've gathered the information on this side, and we're here to help. And when I'm done talking with you today, I'm going to deliver this to our Medicare person, and they're going to come talk to you. You have a Medicare person. That's what we do. We deliver them, we help that family out. And so she knows that. We just deliver it and get it taken care of. Once we're done there, and I've told her she's done a great job, and I've eliminated those boundaries. Can you see the rapport that was built in that already? She's comfortable The physical touch is important to me because it also has taken down another barrier. You know, and if it's just a touch on her hand, a touch on her arm, if we're in range, just this right here, you can just see them just kind of, okay, we're good. The relax comes. Now I've complimented her. In coaching, we call this kiss, slap, kiss, or the compliment sandwich. I just complimented her. Okay, so I gave her a kiss. Well, next comes the rough part. I'm going to slap her. Okay, I'm going to coach her up now. I'm going to tell her what she's done wrong. If she has done something wrong, I'm going to tell her that she's done something wrong. And so let's look at this live now. Now that we're kind of to the point. We're going to go through this whole half of it and show you how it works over here. So let's write this stuff down. Our client's name is Miss Sandra Winthrop. She was born December 23rd of 1950. She's 68 years young. She's a female and she does not use tobacco in any form. Okay, her current Medicare supplement is with Humana. She is happy with it. Next one down right here. Right here, yeah, because we're going to do the 4 box in a second. Humana. Medications that she takes, and you don't have to have the spelling specific on these, perfect on this, the spelling perfect on this, but it'll work. The first medication she takes is lisinopril for high blood pressure. Second medication that she takes is simvastatin for cholesterol. The third medication that she takes is metformin for diabetes. And the last medication that she takes is levothyroxine for her thyroid. Okay, so now we've gathered all that information right there, okay? And we know, and literally guys, I've reached out and told her good job, and I draw a smiley face on my paper. Just like a teacher. I let her see that visual. I want her to have that visual smiley face. You've done a great job protecting your family. That's the teacher in me, right? What are we using? Graphic organizers to educate, smiley faces to tell them great job. There's lots of reasons that's how everybody learns, right? We're using the things that make people, help people learn. So now we're going to cross over and I'll tell her, you know, Miss Sandra, thank you so much again for spending this time with me. You're done with the first half of it and you've done a great job. The second half, we're going to do the second part of the T-graph now, and it's very simple. What we're going to do now, instead of evaluating your Medicare, we're now going to evaluate your current life, burial, or pre-need insurance. Do you have any current life insurance or burial insurance? And she's either going to say what? Yes or no. That's it. So I'm controlling the conversation, right? So she's going to say yes or no. If she says yes, we're going to gather as much information as we can in the 4-box chart. Okay? This one's a 5-box chart, but really it's 4 because we didn't put the name in. But we're looking for price, face amount, cash value, and reduced paid up. If she says no, we're going immediately into education mode of why she should have life insurance and why it's a priority. And we're going to try to make it a priority for her to want life insurance. You sell them differently, right? If they already have life insurance, it's already a priority to them. They already believe in it. Now we're just going to try to see if we can't make their money work harder for them by putting them with a better product. Okay? That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get them out of a Chevy and put them in a Porsche. That's what we're going to do. Okay? If we can't, for the same price. If we can't do that, if it's Chevy to Chevy, we've got to tell them goodbye and they've done the best that they've done a good job. You leave it alone. If they don't have life insurance, we're going to push them to tell them why it's important and why you use life insurance and why you use whole life insurance. We're going to educate them on those things. And so let's start with them saying that she does have life insurance. Okay, so she comes back and she's like, yeah, Ricky, I do have life insurance. Well, who do you have that with? She's going to say, I have a policy with, let's say it's a perfect situation. We'll do a perfect situation first, and then we'll do a terrible scenario second. So in a perfect world, she'd say, yeah, I have a policy. Well, why don't you go to them and grab that policy and let me evaluate it just like I did your Medicare? She'll say, okay. She's going to jump up, she'll go grab that policy, knows right where it is, pull it out of her filing cabinet, and bring it back to me. And I'm able to get the information I need off of that policy. How often do you think that happens? Not very often, right? So we've got to be creative to figure out how to get the information off of that policy without ever getting the policy in our hands. So we know that we're doing the right thing. Because if we just went in and replaced the policy not knowing, it would be wrong of us. I feel it would be very unethical and illegal of us to do something like that. Get the information, gather it as best as we can. So I would say, who do you have your policy with? And she's going to say, I can't even remember the name of the company. I know I spent $68 a month on it or $72 a month on it. Say, okay, well, why don't you grab a bank statement? On that bank statement, it'll tell me the name of the company. And we can figure out who you're with. So get her to get that bank statement out and read it. Oh, it's with Lincoln Heritage. Okay, so I write down Lincoln Heritage is who our policy's with. Oh, you're paying $72 a month for it. Awesome. And then I'm going to ask her a question, which all of them think they know, but most of them hardly ever do. How much insurance do you have? How much are you getting for that $72? They're going to tell you some number. Don't ever write it down until you've seen it in writing. So, oh, it's $25,000. Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, let's do this. Give me just a second. And I grabbed my phone. I said, let's just call the company. Google the company's name. Look up Lincoln Heritage Customer Service. Dial them and put them on speakerphone. And while you're sitting here with Miss Sandra, you just say, Lincoln Heritage is going to call, answer the phone, customer service. You just say, hi, my name's Ricky Ballard. I'm actually I'm a licensed agent here in the state of Utah. And I'm sitting here with Miss Sandra Winthrop. And we're doing a policy evaluation for her. And she's wanting to know, she can't find her policy. And so we want to get a couple things accomplished today. Number one, I want to make sure that when we get off this call, that we get a policy mailed to her. I want her to have a policy in her hand so she knows what she has. And I want to make sure that happens today. So what I want you to do is get the information from Miss Sandra so that we can be sure, and she's going to allow me to speak on her behalf. Okay, I have you on speakerphone. Here's Miss Sandra. I'm going to say, Sandra, can you spell your name for me? And then she'll spell her name. What's your date of birth? Is this your physical address? Do you give Mr. Ballard the right to speak on your behalf? Yes. Okay. A few things that I need to know. We know that she's paying $72 a month for that policy. Is that right? And she's going to say yes. Is this a whole life policy? Yes, it is. Okay. How much coverage does she currently have on that policy? What's the face amount? $10,000. Okay, so I write down $10,000. Does she currently have any cash value that's accumulated in this policy? They'll say, yes, the cash value is $1,200. So I write down $1,200. How about a reduced paid up option? Did this policy come with a reduced paid up option on it? Yes, it did. How much is the reduced paid up insurance that she's accumulated in the policy? $2,400. Okay. One of the things that's not on here that you'll need to ask later on, that as you get better, is does she currently have a loan against her cash value? You'll need to ask that, because a lot of them will take a loan, but nonetheless, we'll leave it like it is. So I'll tell them thank you very much. Again, my name's Richard Ballard. This is my personal cell phone number. If you have any questions for me, feel free to call me. And would you please make sure that Miss Sandra gets her policy? Will you put that in the mail? I'll be happy to put that in the mail for her. Thank you very much. Hang up. Now I have all the information that I need. Okay? I have everything that I know about her insurance. And then you know what I do right there? I pause and say, hey, good job. Then you have a $10,000 policy. You're spending $72 a month on it. It's already built $1,200 worth of cash value. And you have a $2,400 in paid up insurance. She's like, okay, well, I thought it was $25,000, but okay, because you just complimented her again, right? Mm-hmm. Say, well, now, Miss Sandra, let me share with you what we can do through this program. Let me just share with you, and we can see if it's any better. Okay. And so with this, we already decided this is when you'd go to like your underwriting guides and stuff and your cheat sheets that we have designed to decide where to go, or you'd use the GroupMe, you'd take a picture of this. Before you made the phone call, you'd take a picture of this and you'd put it on the GroupMe and say, I need help in a house. And then one of us guys that have been underwriting forever would look at it and say, any carrier you want, or go Liberty Bankers Life, or go Moo, or they'll tell you, right? We'll tell you where to go with it to start. You'll get better as you go with the placement, but you'll have help when you start so you're not naked in a home, because that's the worst. Being in there and you're like, I don't know where to go. Taking 52 medications, I don't know what to do with this. You put it on there, one of us that have been doing it for 17 years will be able to say, oh, go right here, dude, you're good. That's awesome. So you'll have that support while you're in the home. So we decided with this carrier, the best one would be Mutual of Omaha, because she qualified for Mutual of Omaha. So we put over here Moo, and then we just ran quotes on our phones on a mobile quoter. We just ran quotes, and we have them right here. So,
Right under here.
Oh,
So
here?
Yep.
yeah.
I'm not here.
Well, no, right here. So you can do it. You're gonna compare her right to
Oh,
right
okay.
to
Right,
what
I'm
she's
sorry, I
got.
thought you were
Right
talking
on your
on this
visual.
side.
Oh, I put Moo over
yeah,
there.
Same. I thought-
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's where I put Moo is over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put Moo over there
Okay.
because you
We're
may
gonna
have
do it
three
here.
companies.
But you're gonna put it line by line.
Yeah,
with
now
what-
right underneath Lincoln Heritage, you're going to write
Gotcha.
Mutual of Omaha. Okay, and then you're going to write down face amount 10,000 in the where the face amount is. Now price for 10,000 for her is $48.29. Well, she's already spending 72. So as a salesman, what do we want to do?
We can get you.
We want to get her to get as much insurance as she can for what she's naturally spending, right?
She's been comfortable with that.
With that, yeah, sure.
Get that money, right? Now you're being a salesman. Sell it. Get that $72, right? So how much coverage can she get for $72 with Mutual of Omaha? $15,258. Okay. Now we have some cool. She has another option. She has two options there, but she also has another option. She can either cash in her old Lincoln Heritage policy and they'll send her a check for $1,200, or she can call and take the reduced paid up option and they're going to send her a paid up policy worth $2,400 so that she doesn't have to make payments anymore. So when she dies, her family gets $2,400. She gets that's paid up insurance done. And so you tell her, look, Miss Sandra, this is what we can do for you, this program. Have you ever heard of a company by the name of Mutual of Omaha? Yeah, I know Mutual of Omaha. Great. Mutual of Omaha, for the same price that you're spending right now, I can get you $15,258. And you have the option of putting $1,200 in your bank account or buying the kids Christmas this year. Or we can have a reduced paid up policy sent to you for $2,400. So for the same price that you're spending right now, I can get you around $16,700 worth of insurance. So I can increase your insurance 67%, day one coverage immediately for the exact same money that you're spending on Lincoln Heritage.
Wouldn't you be getting her 17,600?
Probably 17,600. Because the 2,400, I just did the math wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did the
if you
math wrong in my head.
It sounded like you were doing the 1,200, like you flipped them.
Yeah, no, the 2,400. You're
Okay.
right. So it'd be
Okay.
the 2,400 plus 15,258. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So not the cash value is they'll send her a check for $1,200. If she has a hole in the roof and she can use that $1,200 to patch the hole in her roof, you can sell her on it. Say, hey, let me have them send you $1,200 so that we can help you. You know, it looks like you're trying to do a few projects to get some things going and use that $1,200. Would that help you right now? Absolutely, right? Okay, so not only am I going to help you get $15,258 worth of insurance for the same price, but they're going to send you $1,200 to help you get through whatever you need. Pay off that little credit card you have or whatever. You can use it however you want to do it. And so, or if you're happy with the amount, if you don't have anything you need to use $1,200 for right now, and it's not a big deal, let's just have them send you a reduced paid up insurance for $2,400. And you'll have $2,400 worth of insurance forever, no matter what. And your new policy will be worth $15,258. She's like, oh, they're still gonna you just saved her a bucket. You just increased her insurance significantly. She's still gonna fight you. She's still gonna have an objection. Don't let her object. Just tell her, Miss Sandra, by increasing your insurance, what is it, 71%, 72%? When I cut this check for $17,000 to one of your family members, who am I going to cut it to? Who's your beneficiary? What did I just do?
Just
Made my pass.
Just soft closed her. Just set her down easy, right? So I just start filling out the app. Your beneficiary's who? Oh, Mary Kay, okay. And is she going to get 100% of this benefit when we cut the check to her? Awesome. Do you have a contingent beneficiary? Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you use a middle initial? No? Okay. This is your date of birth. How about your social security number? What's it? What am I doing, guys? We're filling out the application. I'm not going to make her tell me yes. She's going to have to tell me no, but I'm not going to make her tell me yes. She's going to work through it and soft closure. And you go right to work on making that close. That's what a replacement looks like. You'll come across those every day. You'll make a fortune doing that right there. If you can learn that process right there and practice that process right there, most of these people that mail these cards into us already have some form of life insurance. Somewhere, some way. So you got to be able to replace. Also, let's talk about, and I didn't do this with the last crew, but let's say they don't They don't have any life insurance. They mailed the card in, they're interested in why. Now we're going to talk about the burden that comes from death. We're going to talk about how we use life insurance, right? So I would say, if you were to pass away, Miss Sandra, burials now are costing anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 right now. In the next, 10 years, they're probably going to be $15,000 to $20,000. But right now, if something were to happen to you in the next 5 years, we're going to have to cut a check for $10,000 to $15,000 to make sure you get put in the ground. Who's going to cover that burden for you? She's going to say, well, that's why you mailed this card in. You mailed this card in because I'm going to help you have Mutual of Omaha carry that burden for you. That's what we're going to do today. Let's talk about what Mutual of Omaha can do for you for a small premium. Is it easier to come up with $72? Or is it easier to come up with $15,000 when you pass away? Well, I can afford $72. Awesome. Well, that's what this does. These products are very simple. What they do is they're an immediate benefit day one. Okay, so when you cut your first check within the next 30 days and it comes right out of your account in the next 30 days, you absolutely know that you're covered for $15,000 worth of insurance. If the premiums never increase on you and the amount of insurance never decreases on you. And so it's just another bill, $72 a month, but when you pass away, I'm going to cut a check to your family, one of your beneficiaries, for $15,000. So you're transferring the burden. Rather than transferring you carrying the burden, we're going to obtain that burden. And we're going to make sure that doesn't fall in one of your children or your husband or whoever's lap. Okay, well, that makes sense. So what I just do, I just tried to align my priority with her on the insurance. I tried to sell her on why it's important. She may funnel back. She may counter back and say, well, I've got enough money in the insurance. I got enough money in my bank account to pay this, pay it off, pay cash for it. Well, that's awesome. That's a great thing. I'm glad you can do that. Let me tell you of another program that we have. I reach up and touch the wall of their home. I'll touch her home. Is this house paid off? And she's either going to tell me yes or no, or she's going to say, did you refinance it? No, it's paid off. Okay, are you all caught up on your taxes? Yeah, I'm all caught up on my taxes, paid for all those things, the maintenance. Well, when you pass away, who's going to pay for the taxes on this property? Who's going to pay for the realtor to come in and make sure everything's set up for it to be sold? You and your husband have worked for the last 50 years, so your children could enjoy the equity that you've built in this home. How are we going to pay for that to make sure that happens? So it's not a burden on your children. Who's going to move all this stuff out of here so it can be sold? It's all cost money. That's a final expense thing. So what we have is a program called a Payment Protection Equity Protection Plan, where when you pass away, I can give your children some tax-free money to make sure all of this stuff is taken care of and it's not a burden on your kids. Oh, okay, well, what's that going to cost me? Now I just pivoted. It's the exact same insurance as burial insurance, but what am I using it for? We're using it to make sure we're protecting their assets so that the family doesn't get stuck with the burden of their garbage in the house. Because that costs money. So I'm going to come in and clean that house up and get it cleaned up and prepped, ready to sell. It's sitting on the market with the electricity and the water bill still turned on. That stuff all costs money until it sells. And if it sits on the market for 7 months, those kids are going to have to come out of pocket if you haven't prepared. And I know that you don't want that to happen to your kids. You want this to be a smooth transition. You want your children to celebrate your life, and you want them to you want to give them the equity in this home. Is that not correct? Absolutely.
And a lot of them are in the opposite with that reverse mortgage.
Crap.
And the reverse mortgage, I've
What's
watched.
the cost difference?
It's the same exact price, same thing.
It's exactly the same.
It's the exact same thing. Instead of them using it for their burial, now we're using
So
it.
when you fill out an
You're just
application, you're just
identifying-
changing the name of it.
No,
Not
no.
even that. It's the same name. I'm just calling it I'm not calling it burial insurance to them. I've just now called it payment protection
So it's the
insurance.
same
Exact same
application, it's
thing.
the same.
I'm
It's the
just
same
teaching
policy.
them same exact policy. Instead of them using it to pay for their burial now, they're just using that insurance check for their children to be able to protect their home.
See, Nick,
You're right.
and that's the difference between the pre-need.
Yep.
That pre-need can only be used by that funeral home, can only be used for their funeral, and they're going to use every dime of it.